The war between Disney and DeSantis is finally coming to an end. However, the flat circle of history brought us very close to where we were at the beginning. Today we're going to go over what the terms of this ending is and what it means for the future. Let's go.
The Central Florida Tourism Oversight District and Walt Disney Company have proposed a settlement agreement, potentially ending their lawsuits. Disney will withdraw its challenges while the district will review its comprehensive plan and amend agreements. Let's go.
Well, we gotta ask who's at the helm now that Glenn is gone, David.
It is, oh boy, and what we do know about her, and I will find her name eventually, but what we do know about her is that she is a former lobbyist for Disney, and this particular individual has had many dealings with the state in Tallahassee, doing what lobbyists do, and so it's kind of come full circle. I think the only thing that's really changed is the names on the board, the name of the district itself, but Disney retains control of the formerly known as Reedy Creek Tourism Development Board or district or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. When Glenn was there, it seemed like we were gonna get big Disney crackdown. We were gonna get this big overhaul. We were gonna put toll roads going in and out of Disney.
Right, right.
Um, but then he decided that he was the supervisor of elections here in Orange, and then now we got a pro Disney person, and now we're pursuing more pro Disney policy. Both sides are kind of withdrawing their hardliner positions, and it's interesting because it seemed like everything turned on a dime.
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't long ago when you had Disney, which put out something stating like that we're not going to withdraw our challenges, we're not going to back down, we're not going to give up. And then like not 5 seconds later, they say, "Oh, Florida and us, we're the best of friends."
Right. You know, uh, Bob Iger, thank you, had a mini coup among the stockholders that he put down recently, questioning where the Disney brand was heading. But Iger survived. DeSantis lost badly his bid for the Republican presidential nomination. So both sides were feeling a lot of heat, and Disney was benefiting regardless of what was happening with the formerly known as Reedy Creek district. Um, Disney was still getting legislation that benefited them from Tallahassee. So something, politics, business, whatever. Are we not surprised?
No, I'm not
No,
surprised.
no.
And I think you and I, we had a conversation with a gentleman at a fundraising party for the Democrats.
Hmm.
And, there was this question of, will Disney flip where their money's going? They've been putting money in the hands of the same people that are now going after them. Don't forget that, by the way, who donates to Republican campaigns around here?
That's right.
Disney. And it's
Yes.
like, well, maybe they're going to shift to Democrats and the Democrats are friendly. But what were the Democrats going to do for them? What are they going to do for them?
Yes.
They failed to prove to Disney as well that they were an effective party, that they would get people elected, and that they would get their Disney's agenda done. They failed to prove that, so Disney's not gonna make any more changes because they see the Republicans that have the supermajority as their best option by far, and perhaps as their only option.
Right. And I'm looking up who the new district administrator, whoever's in charge of the Central Florida Tourism District. I want to say is Stephanie Copel. How do you pronounce that?
That's a cool name.
Yeah,
Coplausos? Coplausos?
Kaplasis.
Coplausos?
Yes, former Secretary of the Florida Department of Transportation, 54 years old, and is the district administrator of the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. And she takes over from the role that Glenn Glazine, the new Orange County Supervisor of Elections office, the role that he once had. And again, she has been a lobbyist for Disney in the past. I hope this is the right person I'm referencing. And used to getting things done in Tallahassee.
Yeah. And this is kind of,
Yeah.
I don't go along with the narrative that, now that the DeSantis campaign is over, that things are now like, it's not like morning in Florida and that things are going lovely again. We're still getting goofy legislation, but you do see this de-emphasis on PR from the Florida state, because I think it was a good PR move for both Disney and DeSantis.
Sure.
This whole dispute, it was good for DeSantis because he got to show, these big conservative heads that he means business. He fights wokeism and all of that good stuff. And Disney got their PR showing that, even amongst government opposition, they will still support you.
Right.
Both sides got their PR, and now that DeSantis's PR is over, and now that Disney shareholders have gotten sick and tired of this nonsense, I think they've both sides decided that they don't need the press anymore. They don't need the press for this dispute anymore. And now it's just time to go back to the pro business that we had before.
Right.
And Florida, as far as pro business states go, Florida is like king of pro business states at this point.
Ugh.
How much action were they going to take? They weren't going to do shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know there were some organizations. I know there was one particular group of individuals, Disney defenders, who were all about, rallying behind Disney, taking on the dragon and DeSantis and just, putting out a lot of like feel good stuff about Disney. And I wonder how they feel about this right now. And if they thought that maybe, they were just, pawns in a much larger game.
I mean, I think in a lot of ways they were, and I don't know. I don't really know anybody like that personally, so I can't actually give a good account for that. I never perceived that to be the case. I always kind of perceived this as like almost as like rich people squabbles,
Right.
And I always figured that like one way or the other, because of just how much money and power Disney has here and influence. I mean, how big of a role they play in our economy, that Florida was only going to go against them so much before they eventually cracked down and bent to Disney. I think that was always guaranteed to happen.
Right. I'm trying to confirm that Stephanie is. I want to make sure I got this right because it may not be Stephanie who is the new president, and I'm just looking for any information that's on any of the Disney related websites or the state website about who is now in charge. And I just want to make sure that we give you all the right information, not misinformation. However, if it turns out that it's not Stephanie, we'll make that clarification in the show notes.
Yeah, and on YouTube and whatnot, we'll add a comment. We'll add a pinned comment, clarifying the name. If for some reason the name is wrong, I'll come in and do that. You guys don't have to worry.
Excellent.
But yeah, this I think shows perfectly the dichotomy that government has with big business, especially in a state like this, with a supermajority. things, so much can be puffed up for
Mm-hmm.
press, just like half our legislation was during the DeSantis campaign. I mean, they put out legislation throughout that campaign that they knew was going to get struck down. I mean, there was obviously going to get struck down. Like the live adult entertainment bill, it was just straight up a content regulation. That's, you don't get to do that. In the absence of obscenity, you don't get to do that. But they knew, and it didn't matter to them because what they were after really was coverage over the issue, over just how audacious the bill was, or how they were fighting against the woke movement. And I think in looking back on this, people will view this much the same way, as a way for Disney to look good in the eyes of a progressive community, and the conservative community looking favorably upon DeSantis, even though we're all on the same side of the conflict. Kind of one of those imagination things,
Right.
Wish upon a star, nothing happens.
Oh boy, hopefully this saga is done. Hopefully there's no further sequels to this fairy tale. Um, because boy, did it get people up in arms, and um, you know,
Turns out it was over nothing.
yeah, it was over nothing. And I think it's a lesson for us normal folks who get behind these corporations, and when we believe that they're out there championing for our cause, no, they're championing for their own bottom line. There you go.
This is the company's best interest, not to work for you. They
Money,
don't work for you. You work for them.
money, money, money.
When you go out and champion any business for any reason, you are working for them for free
Hmm.
automatically. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Do what you want, but know that the company's not going to return that for you, especially if it's big. Especially if it's big like Disney. They're not going to return the same for you, um, instead of something that'll help their bottom line. You know,
Right.
they don't do anything for no reason. There are boards that make every decision. This goes through a lot of people. Every little move is considered. Disney is not a person. It is an artificial legal person, but
Yes.
it's not one person
Right.
with one personality. It's a brand.
Right. Right. I'll be looking at my mutual funds over the next several months to see how things are going for Disney. And, my final word in this whole matter is that, folks stay vigilant, stay aware, keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Corporations and have their own best interests. We just have to continue to hold our elected officials accountable, and the best way to do that is to be civically engaged. We have elections this year. It's 2024 for Floridians. The primary is in August 20th, and then the general election in November. So, right now, start doing your research. Find out who's going to be on the ballot. Who do you want to represent you? That's really important.
Yeah. What outcome do you want on issues like this? If you're not satisfied,
Hmm.
with these decisions, what do your current officials think? What is your Florida House member, your Florida senator,
Hmm.
anybody in your county? What are their thoughts on this? I mean, this is a classic big business case. Disney uh, has a huge amount of power here in Florida, and depending on how they side with this, will tell you how they will rule in most other cases. So you can get really good insight that way. And again, this is just a really great illustration of how much power business has in our state, and to another high degree, the country.
Yeah.
Don't assume a business has your best interest in mind. Don't even assume that that big business and government are going to be fighting for long. They're not. Chances
How,
are they're not.
how true is
Um,
that?
Death, taxes, Disney, that like button.
Indeed. Hit that like button. Hit the share button. Share with those individuals who you think will enjoy this content, those politicals, electeds, friends, and family. Of course, hit the notification bell so you know when our content is out there. But even more importantly, your comments. We love to respond to your comments. Again, bring your facts, not your feelings. Don't really care about your feelings, but we do want to engage with you in intelligent conversation. So let's have that conversation. Let's be tactful, let's be polite, and let's continue this discussion.
Disagreement only makes us stronger. Like you said, like, comment, subscribe, share, and have a great day.